are trying to control fear, then while you're trying to control the fear, you bring on the fear of not controlling the fear. Chris, does that make sense? Sure. What did I just say? You're talking to the microphone. What did I just say? No. Okay. You see, what we're afraid of is we're afraid that people are going to find out who we are. We're afraid that they're going to think that we are fake. And the thing is, we're faking because we're afraid that they won't like who we are. I'm talking today about opposing ourselves. Do we realize what we're doing when we're doing this? So I don't want to let anybody get real close to me because they'll find out that I'm really scared inside. And so we fake it. We fill our lives with fear, afraid that somebody's going to reject us, or that somebody's not going to like us because they don't really know what we're like. It's amazing that sometimes we are afraid of the worst thing that could possibly happen in our lives, and that is that we would be rejected. So we put out that fake facade, we put out that fake us, and when it's rejected, we get confused. We get angry. But it wasn't us anyway. That wasn't really who we were. We put it out there. It got shut down. Now we don't know what to do, because all I got left is me. I'm starting to confuse myself. Now see, isn't that our biggest problem when it comes to our relationship with God? I know I'm not perfect, and God knows it too. We ask ourselves, why would God love me? Falcone, why would God love you? Izina, why would God love you? We've got to ask ourselves, Jan, why would God love you? Huh? So what we do is we try to present to God a better us. And then we suffer guilt. Because we know that ain't us. And we know that God knows that ain't us. Well, why don't we just stop? Why don't we just give God us? Why don't we be us? Why don't we stop opposing ourselves in our relationships with each other and with the Lord and just give each other us? And give God us. Instead of who we think He wants. In Genesis 3:10, the Bible tells us that the man answered, the Bible says in verse 10, and he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked. I knew about myself, so I was afraid, and I heard you coming, and I hid myself. Why do we do that? Why can't we just be real with God and real with each other? Hey, there are people who have told me that they were going to be in church today, and guess what? They're not here. Why? They showed me a fake self because they didn't want me to see them as bad people or something, so they lied to me. And they're not here. It does make me feel bad. But that's what we do. Perhaps it was their own fear of, well, I don't want him to see me in a bad light. See, we'll deal with the future when the future gets here. We just want to deal with the now. So I can cover myself with words. I can cover myself with commitment. Now, never mind that in a couple of days that covering is going to turn into a lie. It's going to turn into something that you didn't intend it to be. But it's going to do it anyway. And we get frustrated. Have you ever seen the carnival game played by the little game with all the holes in the mallet?
Whack-a-mole.
What is it?
Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole. Yeah. You slam one thing down and another one pops up.
Isn't that like a gopher?
Sure. Well, whack-a-mole. Isn't that just like life? Isn't that like life? Man, you just got this one down and another one pops up and you pop that one and, oh man, there's another thing that pops up over there. We beat one compulsion and another one pops up. We beat down one problem and another one pops up. We beat down one conflict and another one pops up. It is frustrating because you cannot get them all knocked down at the same time. Whack-a-mole. I didn't know it was called whack-a-mole. That's cool. But see, the frustration, when this happens, the frustration you feel is the symptom of a deeper problem that you have not dealt with, and that is that you are not God. The only one who can win at whack-a-mole is God.
Amen.
When you try to control things, it just doesn't work. In Romans 7:21, it says, I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. Another translation of that says, it seems to be a fact of life that when I want to do what is right, I inevitably do what is wrong. Psalms 32:3 says, when I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all day long. Now you may say, Pastor, what does that got to do with it? Well, let me give you a different translation. Psalms 32:3 says, there was a time when I wouldn't admit what a sinner I was. But my dishonesty made me miserable and filled my days with frustration. And you know what else is a byproduct of all this? Fatigue. This trying to play God thing takes an incredible amount of energy. Trying to control things. And that whack-a-mole game will just drain you. We try to hide our pain by keeping busy because we don't like the way we feel when we slow down. So we run from pain by constantly being on the go. With work, hobbies, sports, even church. Ask yourself, what is it that I'm really running from? In Psalms 32:4, the Bible says, for day and night thy hand is heavy upon me. My moisture is turned into the drought of summer. I acknowledge my sin unto thee, and my iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto the Lord, and thou forgivest the iniquity of my sin. Now, a more plain translation will tell you that all day and all night your hand was heavy on me. My strength evaporated like water on a sunny day, until I finally admitted all my sin and stopped trying to hide them. You see, because of all these things that I've mentioned, the one thing that then pops up and is always a burden on us is failure. When you try to play God, that's one description that you are guaranteed to fail at. Guaranteed. You need to be honest and open about your weaknesses, your faults, and your failures. In fact, our church needs to be a safe place where real people can talk about real problems, real hurts, real hang-ups, real habits, and not be blown away by judgmental attitudes.